Hi, I'm Robert Dutt for ChannelBuzz.ca, joined once again by Mark Snider, General Manager, Ingram Micro Canada. Mark, thanks for taking the time.
Hey, thanks, Rob.
Wanted to continue our conversation with a little bit of a look ahead, a little bit of a crystal ball opportunity here, if you will. I guess let's start with, as we head into 2013, what are kind of your priorities for Ingram Micro Canada right now?
Well, I think we're going to continue to excel in the business that we're in, strengthen those areas, but also develop into other areas, mobility in particular in Canada, physical security. But I think that we look at the market overall and what some of the bigger impacts are going to be. I think that we're looking in Q1 and Q2 to have a bit of the pent-up demand in the Ultrabook and Windows 8 operating system, touch units start to take off a bit more in Q1 and Q2.
Thoughts on what's driving that?
Well, I think that the Windows 8 at its best is going to use the touch interface, and I think that the Ultrabook form factor that came out about a year ago with slim, light, long battery life, I think was a great start. But I think to get the most out of a new operating system, I think touch is there, and so I think we've seen almost a bit of a lull as we exit 2012. And going into 2013, the expectation is when the touch devices come out, and there's a lot of exciting products. I can't think of in the last 10 years where there was excitement around new laptop form factors, right? It has been a while, and I think that as we see that take off in the consumer space, that's going to blend very quickly over into the enterprise area as well.
It seemed that for a long time now, innovation on the laptop and notebook front came down to a little bit of design choice, but there was a lot of similarity. Part of that was in fact, I think, driven by Ultrabook, as interesting as it was. But when you start getting the Windows 8 tablet and slate stuff in there, you start getting new opportunities to get the convertibles, the transformables, the ones that come apart. I think there's some real opportunity there.
Right. When we take a look at CES and the kind of products that are going to be launched there, I think that's where the focus is going to be, and how we're going to take the new operating systems and put them into form factors that are a blend maybe between the best of the tablets and what's been going on with the Ultrabooks as well. And I think that you do see a lot of excitement towards the unveiling of those devices.
What other technology areas are you holding high expectations from? Are you urging VARs to start looking at for 2013?
Well, I think definitely cloud. We can't have a conversation without including cloud on that as well. But I think you are seeing in the marketplace that when somebody is inside an opportunity with an end user, that sometimes cloud is coming in if the VAR doesn't present it themselves. So I think that a lot of VARs that we were talking to earlier on were saying, I know cloud's going to be real when I start losing deals to cloud solutions. But I think they're seeing more now of cloud being asked about from the end user area. A lot of end users have been seeing the marketing hype and seeing the headlines, and they're wondering if there is a cloud solution for them. So, definitely people are including that on their original proposals. And again, our advice to VARs is to be as up to speed, be ready to partner, have a wide suite of opportunities and offerings for your customers, so that they don't accidentally go out and get this from somebody else, and you end up losing a part of your deal. So, definitely, cloud as a solution overall is. Managed services always have been give a lot of control to the VAR and a lot of stickiness with their end users.
Have you found that your solution providers are starting to close that gap and starting to really get in front of cloud, as it were?
I think depending on your definition of it, I think a lot of our VARs have been offering cloud type of services for the last 12, 13 years. I think the difference being that their financial health has been really driven by the services and the recurring revenues a lot more as a percentage. So I think when you look back into 2012 and where there were some dips in the Canadian economy to a certain extent, we saw a lot of health in our VARs, and we didn't really see them lose a step. The consolidation that we saw back in 2012 was a result of strength and health of the VARs, and I think that's what we're going to continue to see in 2013.
All right. What else can VARs expect from, we touched on mobility, touched on cloud. What else can VARs expect from Ingram Micro Canada over the course of this year?
What's amazing to me is how the different areas that we've been focusing on are starting to converge together. And we talk about physical security, which is really coming more into the data center, right? So the physical security push that we've had has actually helped our networking sales, right? It's a driver for Cisco and for Avaya. We've also seen a large focus with Ingram Micro on the consumer market through retail, and now we're seeing the retail devices really blend in more through mobility and also into VARs. So I think you really are seeing some convergence across these 5 areas. I think it's been one advantage of dealing with Ingram Micro is we've been strong in all these areas before, and as they start coming together, we're really able to recommend the best solution for VARs, for enterprise, and for retail as well.
Okay. certainly a big part of Ingram Micro's strength is the Venture Tech Network and the other channel communities. Got to say those are pretty stable at this point. You know, they've been around for a while. They're well established. What's next for the communities in your mind? Where would you like to see them go, and what are kind of the priorities you guys are driving into VTN and the other communities?
I think obviously we're very happy with the strength and the advancements that we've made within VTN. I think coming off our last invitational in Boston, and we tried a couple of different things, and I heard quite often from customers after that it was the best invitational they ever had, which is always amazing to me that we're able to raise the bar like that. We always leave going, well, we've really got a tough act to follow. I think what we're seeing now is the lessons that we've learned in VTN start to trickle down to our next customer segment in SMB. So the SMBA invitational that we had in the fall was really well attended, and we saw great partnering and networking among those groups. So we're seeing a tremendous amount of interest from vendors, as always, in the SMB market through the SMB resellers, and I think we're seeing that area starting to grow and strengthen. So definitely it's a different focus for us. VTN has got one track. SMBA is a different value track for us, but we're really seeing that start to take off and grow thanks to the support of the vendors, but also thanks, I think, to the trickle down of the great progress we've made in VTN as well.
All right, great. One last one before we go. Just curious to get your overall thoughts heading into 2013 as to 2012 versus 2013. What is the what's the opportunity you have in store? Are things getting better, staying the same?
You know, I think that we had a bit of a slowdown in Canada in the middle two quarters, and I think that that was a bit of a surprise based on how good Q1 was. You know, for us overall, we're seeing saw Q4 strengthen, and I think we're expecting that to go into 2013. But I think that Canadians being Canadians, we're always cautious before making that big investment, taking that next move, and I think that's going to continue to be the case. I think people really have to make the case for investing in new technology, but the expectation now in the Canadian and the U.S. market is if somebody invests in technology, there's going to be immediate savings, right? They want to see it in headcount, they want to see it in efficiency, they want to see the impact of this, and they continue to hold us all accountable for these investments, but I think more so than ever before.
Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob.